I am Heidi Roberts.
I am Alan Roberts.
I live here in the States, in New York, but originally I am from Berlin. I came to the States to study. My parents had brought me here before for the World's Fair in 1965. And New York was much smaller then, but I fell in love with New York. So the minute I could, I was back. So here I am.
I've been in New York since 1974. I was born and lived in Philadelphia until a Philadelphia-based law firm had opened a New York office and asked me if I would come to New York.
We got married rather late in life.
We'd been single for so long before we were married. Said, oh, well, there just must have been fireworks when you met. And I think each of us would say, well, no, we liked each other, and we still do. Shortly after we had started to date, I wanted to see South Africa at a time when it was first opening up post-apartheid. And very reluctantly, Heidi agreed that she would
come along.
Our first visit was 1994.
The minute we arrived there, we were on our first game drive, and the manager, who was also the guide, told us, "We'll wake you up tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock." And I went, "What? 5 o'clock?" Shortly thereafter, an elephant came out of the bush. That was the most exciting thing. I had at least 5 minutes of elephant rear end on my little camera because I would have gone up at 3 o'clock in the morning. "20 years ago, when we were in South Africa on a safari trip, we met the woman who started the Endangered Species Center in Hoedspruit. We said we wanted to make a donation, and if she had the US presence, because then, whatever we give is double, basically. I called once in a while, and eventually she called me back and said, no, she would be losing even more money than she already was losing, so she wasn't going to do that. So we looked at each other and said, well, I guess then we'll do it. So that's how it started.
The U.S. Friends of Hoedspruit Endangered Species Center does is handmade. Heidi does fundraising dinners by hand making
the cooking.
the dinners. We do information publication. We write, we compose, we present the photos for it. We rely on virtually no resource for fundraising or administration.
Everything is in-house and nothing affects the charity's money.
So for the dinner table, for instance, during the fundraising dinners, Heidi will present the table, not with expensive bouquets of flowers, but with sculptures of the African animals, so that everything is dedicated to having zero additional cost, detracting from the funds that are raised, so that they can be spent for the charitable purposes.
Over the last 18 years, we raised over $4 million. Our expenses for those 18 years were less than $40,000.
It's wonderful to have the opportunity to thank the people who support the Hoedspruit Endangered Species Centre for coming to us and being involved into what we are doing. It is very important. You cannot do this alone. If you try, you will not succeed. You need sponsorship, you need support, you need all the efforts that we are getting from people like you. And it's wonderful to know that there are people who support us and help us.
Hoedspruit is about 300 miles from Johannesburg and about an hour outside of Kruger National Park. So it's in an area where there are townships, but there also are very large game reserves.
There is an airport where we would land coming from Johannesburg. 10 minutes after you're out of the plane, you are on your first game drive once you are behind the gates.
And the Endangered Species Center is within the Kapama Reserve. But on the Kapama Reserve itself, we sometimes are driving for more than an hour without ever leaving the reserve.
We go every year. We do want to know how things are going. We're supporting it in a major way. And so, no, we must go. I owe that to our donors who are coming here. And besides that, we want to. I mean, it is great to see the animals and check up on them. Some of them we know quite well, and they're pretty tolerant of us.
Some of them even have our names.
Yes.
There's a cheetah named Heidi, and there's a cheetah named Alan.
We love the animals, and we know they need help. And so we said, all right, we'll do it. There was one of the cheetahs that had been injured, and but she was also pregnant. So she took her, brought her to her house on the preserve, and set up everything for the birth. She slept next to her until the cheetah was ready for giving birth, and then Lente Rode helped, including taking off the birth sac of the baby cheetahs, and that cheetah was trusting enough that it let Lente do everything.
Look at some of these animals and know that there is no natural predator. There's no animal that will take out a mature rhino. There's no animal that will take out a mature elephant. The only threat to the survival of these animals is mankind. An elephant will die because it's been poached for its tusk. And a tusk is a trophy for somebody.
We at the center, unfortunately, get rhino babies because the poachers kill the mothers and let her be there. And since the babies don't have any horn, they just let them be. But if you cannot get to the babies soon enough, somebody finds them, there will be leopards, lions, hyenas, cheetahs.
We think it's so important that animals be respected for what they are, whether it's your dog and cat, or parakeet, or parrot, or goldfish, or hamster at home, or something in the wild.
You remember everything and everyone, including the cheetahs and the elephants that we met. They are within us and they make our life.
Our most remarkable experiences haven't been the exotic animals, but they've been things like the golden orb spider, or an experience we'll never forget about a rabbit that we saw, or seeing hyenas that we think are wonderful, and at least for Americans, impossibly and terribly misunderstood, because they're nice and good animals with real family values, with a real sense of community. On a game drive, you never know what you will see, if anything. So it's riveting. It captures all of your attention.
Mm.
But you're looking for something, not knowing what it is, where you will see it, and when you will see it. I think an important thing for Heidi and me is that we didn't begin with a plan. We didn't begin with even a goal. What we began with was appreciating what we were seeing.
We can talk about it and it's our experience, but you should, if you can, go and look at it yourself. It really will change your outlook to so many things. It certainly has mine.
I join in that.